We started the Engadinsnow in 2003. At the beginning it was an invitational where we took the best riders in the world. We've had the Freeride World Tour here, as well as the Qualifiers where we launched young athletes' careers. But for many years now we've had the unique format of a team competition, where two riders take on the north face of the Korvac together. We had two big names on the start list. Both of them have won the North Face many years ago. Aurélien Ducrot from France and Leo Slemmet, who's a multiple world champion on the World Tour. Sadly, he injured his shoulder 3 days before the event, so has had to cancel. But we're well known for always inviting young talent. And this year, it's the freshly crowned Freeride World Tour vice champion and third place from the Freeride Junior World Champs, and then, of course, the locals. It means a lot to me that I can take part in this, because it's my home resort. I've spent a lot of time on this mountain, and it's nice to be able to show what lines I've got. Korvac is my home park. I've known it since I was young, and from back then I've also known the North Face, which was always very imposing and big. The North Face is legendary. A lot of well-known skiers have ridden it. Of course, it's not easy to ride the North Face, but it's a challenge, and that's what we're up for. I've followed the Engadinsnow online and on Instagram, and I've always thought that the North Face is an epic face to ride, and I'm delighted that I'm now a part of this.
I'm honestly coming in here not really knowing what to expect. I watched a couple of videos when I figured out about it, and I was like, this seems like me and his jam.
First impressions is just mind-blowing. I am scared. I'm stressed, but I hope it's gonna work out. I don't want to crash and fall down the whole thing, but I'm confident in our ability and confident in the way we ride together.
The Engadine is one of the most beautiful valleys I know anywhere in the world. In summer, you've got water sports on the lakes. In winter, stunning mountains and good opportunities for free riding. And the Korvac North Face is unique. It's an incredible face. It's steep, it has different riding options, and that's what makes the face so special. The atmosphere here is really special. You see the lake down there from Silverplana. You've got beautiful mountain ranges everywhere you look. When you're on top of the Korvac, you can see the Bernina, and it's so impressive to be here. You can go practically anywhere in the world and say, I come from Silverplana, and either windsurfers or freeriders know the event or the place. And it makes me so proud because I live here. And having the lake Silverplana in the background also makes an idyllic landscape.
It's beautiful here, and that thing right there looks like extreme Verbier.
The Korvac North Face is a mythical face. It's steep, it's 550 meters long, and it has rocks, a lot of rocks. It's basically so steep that you need to be able to ski really well. When you stand at the top, you can look straight down to the finish, which is not normally possible. Today is a qualifier on the Falkland face. It's qualification because tomorrow there's a final for the Freeride World Tour. But tomorrow there's also the Engadinsnow. It's a while since I've done two contests back to back. It's tiring, but also fun. Now we're riding the 4 Class Soleil so that I can inspect the face that I have to ride for the qualifier. I've found a line now. It's a bit tricky to find one because there isn't great snow everywhere. But I hope that it works. More than anything, I hope that it's enjoyable. I've ridden that line a few years, but never in a contest. And I hope that I'll stomp my tricks and get down the face in one piece. From the very first second he dropped in, Nalu Nussbaum showed that he knew the four-cloud face. He launched this beautiful backflip into a sniper landing. He threw in a couple of playful turns and then managed a 360, which he just put down. Tiny bit backseat. He earned more style points with that butter off the rock. He then tweaked a mute grab on that cross court. Managed to get a right side 360 to finish. And that run would qualify Nalu for the Freeride Challenger Series finals. Yeah, that run was a lot of fun. I'm happy to get it down in one piece, and it was enjoyable. It's one day before the big face contest, and it was good to have a little warm-up and get to know the snow conditions. Now I can sleep and prepare myself, and I know what it's going to be like on the North Face tomorrow. It's 7:30 in the morning and we're waiting for the helicopter. We're then going to fly along the face where we'll have 4 or 5 spots to do some controlled explosions. We'll assess that and then we'll drop some avalanche explosives and see if they do anything. So now we've done the safety explosions and there are only a couple of small releases. The new snow and the snowdrifts weren't triggered. So from our side, we've now carried out all of the necessary safety precautions. So the explosions went well. Not everything was blasted exactly as we wanted it, but we've seen enough. So now the mountain guides can decide in a meeting how and where everyone can ride today. All the preparations are done and the riders of the 22nd Engadinsnow arrive at the Korvach middle station for the final phase check. Yeah, we look at the options we have. There aren't as many as we thought. We now have to basically work out which are the best and the safest.
It looks pretty hard packed, but I think it's going to be a blast and good experience.
Engadinsnow has always been my favourite contest. There's nothing better than standing on the Korvach and hearing 3, 2, 1, go!
Go!
It's go time. The 2024 Engadinsnow is on.
3, 2, 1. Go!
Flo Orley and Lukas Suikowski are the first riders to tackle the Korvach in these difficult conditions. The Austrian-Argentinian team has a slow start and carefully navigates through the steep and rocky upper part of the North Face. Some well-placed turns help Suikowski and Orley to avoid mistakes, and the Austrian snowboard legend also throws in a small 3. On the lower part of the Korvach, their run gets a bit smoother, and the only team with a skier and a snowboarder in it shows some nice turns before they arrive visibly relieved in the finish area. Next up in the start gate are the Engadin locals, André Heimoz and Nalu Nussbaum. The Swiss manoeuvre themselves skillfully through that upper rocky section. Then there's a lot of speed as they start to let things go. Nussbaum throws the first air, which he lands solidly. Shortly after, he gets a nice cork 360. Then they show their first choreographed element when Heimoz airs over Nussbaum. And they carry on the solid run with a lovely double off this cliff on the exit to that couloir. A stylish, technical run that was brilliantly executed. Should guarantee the pair qualification for the next round. It was exhausting, but I think it was the most thrilling thing I've ever done. It was a total adrenaline rush. Coming down the face for the first time was tiring, but cool. The second heat was opened by Korvach veteran Patrick Whiskey Ambul and his partner Luca Schneider. The two of them traversed to the right side of the Korvach's north face and dropped into a very steep first couloir, where they rode with some very strong fluid turns. Led by Ambil, who knows the Corvatch North Face better than any other competitor at this year's Engadinsnow, the Swiss team stopped for a little dance routine. They then continued their run and threw in a couple of mini airs over a small spine. In the lower part of the face, both of them aired over a small cliff feature and brought their run home with no problems. Next up in the start gate, Sweden's Douglas Nordqvist and Nils Versen, who both got picked for the Engadinsnow from the Freeride World Tour Qualifier final. In the upper part of the face, Versen threw one of the biggest cliffs of the day, but on the same drop, his partner Nordqvist had problems with the landing. But the two Swedes were able to continue their run and show some beautiful turns through the middle section of the face. After navigating this salt and pepper, they found a big cliff at the bottom of the face. Unfortunately, Nordqvist bailed again, and this year's Engadinsnow is over for them. They completed the rest of the run without any further mistakes, but because of those two crashes by Nordqvist, Switzerland's Patrick Whiskey Ambil and Lucas Schneider would qualify for the next round. It's not easy. It's hard. There is variable snow everywhere. You can ride it, and we had a little laugh and made the best out of it, but definitely the most difficult run I've had since riding here. The US teenagers Austin Pickett and Tyler Blocker stand in the start gate. The two friends show right from the off that they are here to prove their big mountain skills. There's an energy to their run and an urgency to pack in as many features as they can on the top of the face. It's the first time they've ever competed in a freeride contest in Switzerland, but they're skiing confidently. They work their way down onto that wind ridge, getting a 360 and a small air. In the lower section of the face, Blocker, the freshly crowned Vice World Champion on the Junior Freeride World Tour, and his partner and friend Pickett showed 3 more small cliff drops. But always concerned with riding as fluidly and as close together as possible, they bring down their run into the finish area with some strong turns. Their opponents, Matthias Nahr and Michael Wheatley, know that they now have to bring down their run without any crashes. After a small cliff drop, they show their first choreographed element when US rider Wheatley stomps an air over his Austrian partner and rides away cleanly. They work their way confidently down into this rocky pinch. Unfortunately, the young Austrian Nahr is pushed off balance in the landing and loses a ski. And that means the Austrian-American team will get beaten in this teenage duel by the American friends Tyler Blocker and Austin Pickett.
Bro, I don't know why my skis just popped off. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's very scary. Especially while we're skiing, things look different than visually inspected. And some things worked out, some things didn't, but just stoked that we're here and at the bottom.
Normally, only one person rides the face in a freeride contest. But we initiated it many years ago that because you have 2 good friends, 2 buddies, then they can ride together on the same face during a contest. I think you need a bit more space for everything. And if you have a plan B, you need to know where to ride out without interfering with each other. And it needs to work for both of you. I mean, it doesn't make sense if one jumps off a massive cliff and the other a tiny one. You've got to strike a good balance.
You got to be talking kinda, and you got to talk before and tell each other's lines, and you got to make sure the timing's right, and you got to make sure it looks flowy and you guys are going like in and out and stuff and airing over each other.
We gotta make sure we don't white room each other. We gotta make sure our turns are not like slough each other out, or gotta make sure we kind of coordinate airs so we don't like land on each other.
The most important element is you need to check your speed so you're close, not 100 meters away from each other. You need to look out for features where you can do 2 drops next to each other. One jumps to the left, the other to the right.
I'm thinking it's going to be more like ballet, very synchronized, trying to like get our moves together and in link to something that is easy on the eye.
We will bring some style to the free riding, a few grabs, some alternative tricks like butters. We want to have a laugh and show that we're not fighting, but simply enjoying it. Yeah, I think it's a big advantage that we know each other because we'll have blind faith in each other. When Nalu tells me you can ride down over there with that speed, then I'll do it. I know it will work out. And I think it's the same the other way around. We can judge each other very well. And it's easy to coordinate who does what. Time now for the semi-finals round, from which 2 out of the 3 teams will qualify for the final. First up, Nalu Nussbaum and Andre Heimoz. And straight out of the start gate, the 2 Engadine locals attack the north face of the Korvac. They stay close together and Nussbaum launches himself into a nice 360. But Heimoz isn't able to land his attempt and he crashes out. It's an unfortunate mishap, but it doesn't stop the 2 locals from riding the rest of their run with full confidence. Again, Nussbaum threw the 360 over his partner Heimoz and held on to the landing. Another air on the lower section of the face. But when he attempted that butter, Nussbaum also crashed. So a solid run, but a couple of small mistakes could cost them. Back up at the start gate, it's Patrick Umbel and Lukas Schneider. The Engelberg locals know that they need a safe run without a crash, and that could be enough to qualify for the final. And so they take a very conservative approach. Nothing too radical. Nice first track though off that nose. Everything has gone to plan for Schneider and Umbel in these difficult snow conditions, and they're visibly relieved. Well, I nearly caught my skis. I thought to myself, you could feel that the legs were tired. You could really feel it the second time. It was a bit sketchy, also with that drop. Tyler Blocker and Austin Pickett are the last team in the semi-final, and the US teenagers also know that they will make it to the final if they don't crash. In the upper part of the face, they ski some nice consistent turns with a couple of small drops. But as expected, they're not taking any big risks. Blocker takes on one of the bigger features, but on the smaller side, so he can control the speed on the run out. There's a couple of nice duo moments here where they link lines together and Blocker leads with the 360 over that spine. And then down at the bottom, again Blocker airs over Pickett. But that exact scenario is reversed as Pickett tweaks an air over Blocker on the next cliff. Staying nice and tight, they follow each other's tracks to a little double section. And then they finish one more time with Blocker airing over Pickett. It is very possibly the strongest run of the day so far.
Good connection, we were talking, we knew we were going, flowing, making nice turns, and I have a good feeling about this next run.
Really good.
So, the freshly crowned Junior Freeride World Tour Vice Champion Tyler Blocker and his friend Austin Pickett are one of the most exciting teams at this year's Engadinsnow, and the 2 are a really tight unit.
Something that's really unique about me and Austin is we share very similar morals and standards, and we kind of live similar lives in a way, which I think helps like unite us when we're skiing or just as people in general.
He's one of the most stylish skiers I've ever seen. I mean, like, skiing behind him is a privilege. I mean, you just get to like the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, like everything. I'm like his like little commentator in the back.
Take a surfer and put him on skis. Normally they snowboard, but this guy's a surfer on skis, and he slashing and like airing everything. It just shows how unique of a skier he is.
Knowing his skiing style and knowing how he skis, how he turns, what he's looking at, we think similar. We think similar on what we want to hit. We like to see the mountain in a different way, I guess. Like he said, we both love to surf, and so we like to see it almost as a wave and just like going with the flow of the mountain. And so we see that similar, and we always try to maximize every hit we can and making sure that we're in the air more than we're on the ground.
I think a huge advantage is also knowing his consistency, because sometimes you have to depend on each other to land certain airs and to make things happen, and Austin's a very consistent skier, so it's definitely a good advantage.
Now it's time for the small final at the Engadinsnow, and Andri Haimos and Nalu Nussbaum are riding the north face of the Korvach for the third time in the space of just a few hours. They start their run with two beautifully tweaked air, and then the Engadine locals show some nice flowing turns before 19-year-old Haimos does another cliff drop, which he just manages to stick. Nussbaum then launches a 360 over the spine, and then ticks some big boxes with the judges launching a right side 360 over Andri Haimos. A beautiful double air down at the bottom, and then again it's Nussbaum over Haimos. The Swiss pair have thrown down the gauntlet with a great run. The only snowboarder at this year's Engadinsnow, Flo Orley and his partner Lukas Swikowski, made it as lucky losers into the small final. However, already landing his first Lear, Orley slips, and the Austrian-Argentinian duo now have to really deliver if they're to step to Nussbaum and Haimos. They continue their run undeterred, and Orley tries everything in his power to integrate as many features as possible into their run. But as a whole, the snowboard ski team doesn't have the same flow as Nussbaum and Haimos. And when Orley slips and loses his heel edge on the landing of this final jump, it's all over. And third place, deservedly, goes to Engadine's Nalu Nussbaum and Andri Haimos. I had certain things that I wanted to achieve, and I achieved them all. I'm safe, I'm healthy, I got down well. I mean, my legs were burning at the end, but to get third place now, it's mega sick. The crowd is now ready, and the final of the 22nd Engadinsnow is about to start. Patrick Ambel and Luca Schneider are the first to tackle their final run. After showing two well-coordinated descents, they now want to prove in the final what they're made of. They show some strong fluid turns, and another little entertaining dance. And then they start to build in some of the cliff features into their run on the lower section. But it's clear here, they're lacking just that extra bit of energy they need. It's a clean run, but will it be enough? Only Tyler Blocker and Austin Pickett can deliver the answer. The 18 and 17-year-olds respectively sparkled in their first two runs, and in the final, the two Americans go full throttle right from the start. In the middle section, they skillfully navigate through the constantly changing snow, and Blocker drops a small air before the freshly crowned Junior Vice World Champion launches himself into a 360. They continue that run down to another cliff feature where Blocker airs over Pickett. It's a repeat of that same playful manoeuvre. In the last couple of metres, the two Americans keep their good flow, and they make it to the finish without a single crash. A huge achievement by Blocker and Pickett, who deservedly secured the Engadinsnow victory at their first appearance in Silverplana.
I'm still kind of baffled. I mean, this whole day it just felt like a dream all day. I've rappelled for the first time today. I've ridden in a helicopter for the first time today. I've actually probably skied a Kolar with this guy for the first time today. And Man, it's just a first for everything today. Really a dream.
I don't even know how to like react. I'm just like, I'm still, like you said, I'm still in awe. I don't even know like how to, like, what the feeling is. It's just, I guess it's all gonna hit tonight, but who knows? I'm just still like super stoked and super happy that we got to come here and do this.
What a day for the two young Americans. They take the coveted trophy at their very first Engadinsnow appearance and write their names in the history books of this legendary freeride contest. Here are the official results. Tyler Blocker and Austin Pickett win the 22nd edition of the Engadinsnow, ahead of Patrick Armbel and Luca Schneider in second, and Nalu Nussbaum and Andrew Heimoz in third.